Pro forma means as a matter of form. A pro forma invoice is an estimated invoice used to request payment before the goods or services are supplied. A pro forma invoice isn't legally binding in the same way as other invoices. Once you deliver the product or service, you can then issue a formal invoice. Can a pro forma invoice be cancelled? As they are not legally binding, they do not need to be cancelled. There is no action required to edit or cancel a pro forma invoice if the sale does not go ahead. There's a list of what to include on a pro forma invoice in our article, which you can find by clicking the link in the post. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Did you know that there are different types of invoices? And each one provides a different benefit to you and your business. Not only do they offer written verification of a client's obligation to pay, but they protect you in the event of legal disputes. Hi, Chris. Hey, Chris. Hello, Chris. Can you run through some single transaction invoices for us? I sure can, Chris. There are three main types of invoice for one-off transactions. The first are sales invoices. These include the invoice number, company information, and seller's information, as well as detail on the date of issue, date of expected payment, and items or services provided. Pro forma invoices contain the estimated costs and essentially work as giving someone a quote. Commercial invoices are used by businesses that ship products internationally and will include additional information about the export, so the country of origin, tariff payable, and transport method. Thanks, Chris. Invoice factoring is a type of finance where a business raises money by selling a majority of the value of an unpaid invoice to a specialist third party. It prevents late payments from causing cash flow problems. There is also invoice discounting, which is when the third party will advance you a percentage of the value of your invoices, but you still have to manage and collect the invoice payments. Generally speaking, a customer will know when you're using an invoice factor, but not when you're using an invoice discounter. When could you use invoice factoring? For those small invoices lying around. No, Chris, that wouldn't be worth the fees. You would use invoice factoring for any high-value invoices that could impact cash flow if they're not paid on time, or if you need to free up money fast, or to avoid long-term debt. Exactly. If it's something that sounds right for your business, it's important to check if you can afford the factoring fees. Costs are based on either a discount rate or a service fee. A commercial invoice is a document created for international shipments, and it contains important information about the export. We have the list here at business class. A commercial invoice should include the country of origin of the goods, how it's being transported, the route, the total value of the goods, the full contact details of the buyer, an invoice number, date of issue, the terms of sale, and the quantity and weight of the goods. It should also include a harmonized system tariff code, which is an 8 to 14 digit code that identifies exactly what a product is. You'll need international commercial terms or Incoterms, which are terms that define where the goods will be delivered, who arranges transport, and who is responsible for the insurance and customs. And finally, make sure to add a UK EORI number. If you don't have this number, you can register for one. When is a commercial invoice required, Chris? It used to be that only exports from the UK to countries outside the EU required one, but now it's important to check the rules for each location. Pro forma means as a matter of form. A pro forma invoice is an estimated invoice used to request payment before the goods or services are supplied. A pro forma invoice isn't legally binding in the same way as other invoices. Once you deliver the product or service, you can then issue a formal invoice. Can a pro forma invoice be cancelled? As they are not legally binding, they do not need to be cancelled. There is no action required to edit or cancel a pro forma invoice if the sale does not go ahead. To learn more about invoicing for your business, head to Business Class Trends and Insights. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris.